The holiday shopping season is here, but are the goods? We'll look at the kinks in the supply chain. Dearborn elects its first ever Arab American and Muslim mayor. We'll talk with Abdullah Hammoud. And what if a college degree would cost you 1 year and $7,000? Today is Sunday, November 28, 2021, and this is Flashpoint.
Hi there, welcome to Flashpoint. I hope you're enjoying the holiday weekend, and I hope you've had plenty of blessings to count. You're a blessing to me, and I'm grateful you're with us this morning. We've got a lot to get to. Since Election Day, I've been wanting to spend some time with the new mayor of Dearborn. Former state representative Abdullah Hammoud knocked off fellow Rep. Gary Warrenchak. In the new year, he will be sworn in to succeed Jack O'Reilly. In fact, he's one of 3 Muslims to win mayoral seats this month. We're going to talk about that, but also about the enormous infrastructure problems that await any mayor of a city right now in Michigan. Also this morning, the price of college tuition has, of course, rocketed out of sight, so much so that the college degree we have long cherished as such a resume builder looks more and more daunting to many. Right now, Americans owe nearly $2 trillion on tuition loans. We're going to look at a new program called Degree Forward that knocks both time and money off getting that degree. The idea being that then you can spend more time making money off your degree. And while many would love to spend their money with local small businesses this holiday season, some wonder if the supply chain issues are going to make that tougher. It's all today on Flashpoint. Well, Dearborn has long been the heartbeat of Arab American life in Southeast Michigan, and yet it was only this year that an Arab American won the election to lead that city. And I'm very happy to have our first chance since Election Day on Flashpoint to talk with Mayor-elect Abdullah Hammoud, who will take office in January. Great to have you here. Abdullah, you said shortly after your election, I've got the quote here, "In this town, it demonstrates that we elect individuals based on the direction which they lead, no matter the direction in which they pray." But even in my headline this morning, it was that you're the first Arab American and Muslim mayor of Dearborn. So I guess the question is that noteworthy or more of a footnote to you as you take over this office?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
I think it certainly is noteworthy and historic in its own right. But we're trying to make clear that we never ran to be the first, we ran to be the best. And that here in this town, you need not change who you are, that it's okay to have a different sounding name. It's okay to be of a different ethnicity or a different faith. And that in the city of Dearborn, people will elect you based on how hard you're willing to work to help uplift the residents throughout the whole community.
You're one of 3 Arab American Muslim mayors who are taking over office in Southeast Michigan. So it certainly speaks to some change in not only our demographics, but I suppose in our attitudes as well, which is what you're kind of suggesting, right?
Yeah, certainly it demonstrates that representation matters. And it demonstrates that there are qualified individuals of various backgrounds, race, ethnicities, and faiths, and that if given an opportunity to run for office and that they're willing to work hard, localize an issue, speak to residents from all 4 corners, that they too can win without changing who they are.
Well, I'm sure you read some of the nastier things that are said occasionally on social media, which of course I don't necessarily recommend. But we have also the idea of a separation of church and state in America, a very time-honored tradition of American politics. So I guess how much does your faith inform your politics and the way that you lead your life?
Yeah, and I don't think, as somebody who grew up proudly Muslim American here in the city of Dearborn, certainly faith was a very near and dear part of my life, and provides me a set of values that I live by each and every single day. Things like treating and wanting for your neighbor what you want for yourself, ensuring that you uplift the most marginalized, because doing so means you're uplifting the whole community. Those types of beliefs are things that empower me to make the decisions I do each and every single day, ensuring that every child in our city is growing up in an environment that fuels their imagination and not their asthma, ensuring that our seniors have a helping hand so that they can live at home comfortably and independently. So those types of beliefs and values are certainly some things that I believe in, and they're values and principles of, I'd say, the majority of Dearbornites here in our community.
You also, though, know that right now is a very nasty season in American politics. There is bloodthirst everywhere you turn. The 2 sides that we typically think of, right and left, really are barely on speaking terms right now. Why do you want to be in the political arena?
You know, I've been in the office for several years now, and being mayor actually allows me to take a back seat to the partisan politics, given this is a nonpartisan seat. And what I'm able to do is utilize the office of mayor, which I think is best positioned to impact and improve the quality of life for neighborhoods throughout the city, because we are in the best position to understand what is happening in each and every single neighborhood all throughout town. And God willing, we work effectively with our city council, with our administration that is qualified, that is trustworthy, that is competent to effectuate positive change and move Dearborn forward.
Well, speaking of the neighborhoods in Dearborn, as you know, and you ran on this idea and talking quite a bit about what was going on in the neighborhoods, many of which need serious infrastructure help. Dearborn, of course, is always in the headlines, unfortunately, when we talk about these massive rains that we had over the past summer and all kinds of problems. Your marching orders as you move into office in January, I guess, are pretty clear for you, right?
There is a clock ticking on the wall, to your point, and that is a matter of when is the next heavy rain going to set in that might lead to another catastrophic flooding event. And so on day one, we've already begun the conversations actually prior to assuming office about short, mid, and long-term solutions to help ensure that if a rain happens, a heavy rain happens, that people don't have to be anxious about whether or not their basements are going to flood and that they're going to put their livelihoods out at the curbside waiting for a dump truck to pick it up. So it's certainly top of mind for us.
As much as the infrastructure bill promises a lot of changes for many American communities, and as much as people have talked about the amount of money that's in it, it is actually not a bottomless pit. There are going to be limits on it. What do you do now to make sure that Dearborn gets its fair share?
You know, I think what you do is you make sure that you're advocating for that fair share, that you're working with your regional partners, that we're working with our partners in Lansing, that our partners at the county, our partners at the federal level of government, to ensure that Dearborn receives the amount of money that it needs to improve the infrastructure. Secondly, it's not just in the bipartisan infrastructure package. There's obviously the promise of the Build Back Better. We have the American Rescue Plan Act dollars, and there are several other ways in which we can, ensure that we prioritize these issues for our residents. So we have to work, in a smarter way, in a more efficient way. We also have to work collaboratively, ensuring that everyone is pulled to the table regardless of their political beliefs, with the priority that we have to do what we must do to help fix our crumbling infrastructure.
You're, of course, leaving the Capitol in Lansing. I'm really curious about your take about the atmosphere that you're leaving there. We watched the governor go tooth and nail against a lot of Republicans over COVID restrictions and COVID policies, and yet we also saw a bipartisan budget agreement. Can you kind of describe for me how you think whether the headlines match the relationships and the abilities right now, the effectiveness of our legislature?
You know, certainly there are issues that the legislature disagrees with the governor, and traditionally that tends to be a partisan disagreement. But often what's not captured in the headlines is the amount of times that the legislature on both sides of the aisle comes together to the table with the governor administration to pass something meaningful, such as the bipartisan appropriation bill and supplemental bills that we're working on currently. These are the types of investments that we're making throughout the state to help improve the quality of life for residents all throughout Michigan, regardless of whatever political beliefs that they have. So I think what's not captured is just how many times we do come together. If you were to capture in a percentage, I think something like nearly 90% of bills are passed along bipartisan manner, but it's traditionally those bills, the outliers that tend to make a little bit more noise that are captured in the headlines.
Well, lastly, you now move from worrying about the state response to COVID to now what you do about it as mayor of Dearborn, getting as many people vaccinated or whatever your plans may be. What are your plans for trying to move the pandemic forward or our response to the pandemic forward as you become mayor?
You know, I think the uniqueness of me coming in as mayor is I'm also a public health, the first public health mayor for the city of Dearborn. I'm an epidemiologist by trade. And so what we're going to be doing is largely what I did as state representative, continuing to provide real-time information to the residents, working with regional partners, with our public health department over at the county. We have plans for bringing in a public health director over at the city of Dearborn to begin to see what we can do best in implementing public health strategies to safeguard our residents.
Good deal. Abdullah Hammoud, as you and I are recording this conversation, you're awaiting word from your wife to tell you it's time to go to the hospital for a blessed event. It didn't happen during our interview. I'm glad of that. But congratulations on the blessed event coming your way, and I hope we'll talk to you again on Flashpoint very soon.
Thank you so much, and a happy holidays to you and your family as well.
And to you as well. We come back, we'll talk about a new approach to college. Could it be possible to get a degree in a year for about $7,000. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.
Forgotten Harvest is a lifesaver for a mother like myself with children and having so many snacks and lunches to make.
The food from Forgotten Harvest make me feel better in school.
Because these children around this community really look for Forgotten Harvest. And I thank Forgotten Harvest for helping me and my family out. Forgotten Harvest needs your support to help families in need.
We need your help today.
This year, don't just get ready, get holiday ready at Jack Dimmer Ford in Wayne. Get the Ford you've always wanted now at the Black Friday sales event. Hurry in to lease the 2021 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew 4x4 for as little as $249 a month. Or drive off in the 2021 Ford Explorer XLT with all-wheel drive, now just $299 a month. Get to Jack Dimmer Ford today on Michigan Avenue, east of I-275.
Delta Dental is investing $5 million in a collaboration with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy to build what will be one of the most exquisite playgrounds in the country. The Delta Dental Playgarden will open on the West Riverfront in the near future. It will include an enormous bear slide, a toddler park, an amphitheater, and other features designed by Detroit school children. You can get a glimpse of this exciting public space by checking out the all-new Delta Dental float during America's Thanksgiving Parade.
Okay, what'll it be?
I'll have the number the number one. Sorry about that, I always do that.
Easy mistake for you.
Yep.
And for you? I'm gonna have the chicken.
Local 4 defender Karen Drew. When family's loved ones went missing in the morgue,
I couldn't say goodbye to her.
She exposed the morgue mistakes, held the medical examiner accountable.
This apology letter is a big development.
And followed the money trail. The Local 4 defenders.
Welcome back. When I first heard about Degree Forward and the prospect of getting an associate's degree from college in a year for about $7,000, I thought this has to be some sort of knockoff like a $10 Louis Vuitton bag. But on closer inspection, it's a serious offer. And let's talk about it with Danielle North, the executive director of Degree Forward, and Doug Ross of the Diploma Equity Project, who I have turned to many times on this program over the years to talk education. Danielle, I want to start with you. You're right now explaining how this works to a lot of people. So I'll be wholly unoriginal, and let's start that exact way. How does this work?
Yeah, well, Devin, thanks so much for having us. And we're just so excited to have an opportunity for working professionals and adults who may have stopped out of college or never had an opportunity to start to have an accelerated, achievable, and affordable path to complete their degree. And the way we do that is with a project-based curriculum through Southern New Hampshire University, which is an accredited nonprofit college. And this program is online, but we provide in-person wraparound support for students, which includes intensive coaching. And that coaching includes us being able to see their projects and help them throughout their entire program, and other wraparound supports such as childcare if they need it, transportation, a student center with a computer lab, and everything that they need to get them from point A to point B. So that is a pretty quick, straightforward version of it.
Well, and this idea that it's project-based is really important and part of this. Instead of me going through a long curriculum, my advance through the program is based on these projects that are laid out for me, and as I complete them, I'm done, right?
That is correct. So you're either going to get a not yet or a mastered when you submit a project. So the process or the cycle is submit, revise, repeat. You submit a project, a reviewer takes a look at it, they provide you feedback, and we can help you make those corrections. They're going to say, hey, you've got some grammar issues here, or you didn't meet this area of the rubric. And so they make those changes, they submit it again, and in most cases, they're going to master it from there. And these are real life, real world projects that they're working on.
Doug, you're the founder of University Prep, which means you basically built an entire secondary education system on the promise of heading to college. But for many, that's just not a reality right now.
Or, well, the bigger reality is that people do start college. But then life intervenes and they stop. And we've got more than 600,000 adults in Metro Detroit who have some college, but no degree. And as you know, the governor, the legislature have set this goal of at least 60% of us having college degrees or skill certificates by 2030. And when you do the math, the only way you can get there is by bringing a lot of adults back and having them complete. And the reason Degree Forward is so exciting is it's based on a model that was very successful in Boston, and it's designed specifically for adults who have jobs and have responsibilities, and it creates the kind of accessibility and the ability to accelerate and get a degree quickly and affordably.
And the cost element, if you've got 2 years left to go on your degree, and you look at what another 2 to 3 years of college is going to cost you, and you're in your 30s or 40s, it's just really easy not to do it. So that part of this is built for them as well, right, Doug?
Yes, and if you still have Pell eligibility, if your income is such that you can still get Pell grants, which is true if you've got a family for, folks who are fairly middle class, as much as $6,500 of the $7,000 a year in tuition can be covered. So it may be that it's really pretty negligible, the cost. And like you said, you can move at your own speed. You're not tied down by any external.
Danielle, what is it about Southern New Hampshire University that both you trust, but is also perfect for the program?
Yeah, well, what I love is that Southern New Hampshire University has actually been committed to providing curriculum and programs for adults for many years. And this is just another version of their programming. Although they're outside of the state, they are an innovator and a forerunner in providing this specific type of hybrid college model, which exists in Boston. And I've been out to Boston and I've seen the program firsthand. I've seen people who have benefited from it. I've sat in calls with folks who are in the program and I'm watching them progress. Folks who have done just this very thing, completed their degree in 1 year. Even some folks who have completed their BA in 2 years. So I've seen the proof and I've seen the stats, which they are achieving 50% graduation rates in 2 years for that AA program. And that is just astonishing. And we need that here in Detroit and in Michigan.
Doug, do you have to make the case to people that it is still, if you've already gone down this path and you maybe thought you kind of gave up on the degree, do you find it difficult to make the case that that college degree is still worth something?
When you look at the response that Reconnect got, the tuition-free access to community college for people 25 or older who didn't have a degree, it's clearly of interest. It's on the minds of a lot of people, and for a couple reasons. Some see it as necessary, getting that degree to move up in their career or get that next promotion. For others, it really goes more to personal dreams and goals. I want to do this for myself. I want to set an example for my children. I want them to go to college. If I don't have a degree, what kind of credibility do I have? So I think the demand is there. And what we're trying to do here under Danielle's leadership is bring a design specifically for adults so that it works in your life, because you're not 18. You've got to work full time. You've got to pick up kids from school. You've got all these complications. And yet you need a degree or want a degree, and we want to make sure there's a practical way to do it.
Danielle, lastly, if you've talked me into it, you've already got some who are starting, your first group, starting school. What do I do? How do I start making my way down this path?
Sure. You're going to visit our website at degreeforward.org.
And there
you're going to
is.
fill
I'll
out.
just put it on the screen for you. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, you're going to fill out the quick form or the apply now form, and either myself or someone on my team, we're going to follow up with you. We're going to send you the application. Don't go to the Southern New Hampshire University's website for that. We send you the application. We walk you through financial aid. We assist you through the entire process. And we have 6 terms that you can start with next year, with the next one coming up for January 3rd, and the application window closes on December 10th. So let us help you complete your degree.
600,000 people seem to be the first ripe candidates that Doug mentioned earlier. Thank you both so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Good luck with the program, and happy holidays to both of you.
Thank you so much, Devin. Same to you.
When we come back, we'll talk about holidays and shopping and what the supply chain is doing to that. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.
Compared to many SUVs, a Volkswagen can save you money on maintenance. Isn't that illuminating? Now's the time to sign then drive. Hurry in during the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease an all-new 2022 Taos for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
This year, more than any other, are you certain you have the right Medicare plan? HAP is here, helping you navigate Medicare. Offering Medicare plans with $0 monthly premiums, $0 primary care visits, and $0 on most preventative vaccines. Dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and 24/7 telehealth. Face the future with confidence. Call now. See how HAP is here for you.
All right, morning, guys. Appreciate everything you do. While you're out there, just make sure everybody's working safe. I'm John Wagner, the General Supervisor for the Pontiac Service Center, which consists of around 50 employees, 15 crews. As the infrastructure gets rebuilt, there's a lot of technology that goes along with that, which improves reliability and efficiency. Building the grid of the future means everyone can be more confident in their power.
This holiday, you could save on maintenance costs by bringing home a Volkswagen. Or you could get a bow. Now's the time to sign then drive. Hurry in during the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease a new 2021 Jetta for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
I have to tell you, I really got to know this city when I started reporting here on the streets. I got to know the people, how real they are, their grit, their determination, and that is what made me fall in love with Detroit. This is where I choose to live, to raise my family. So when I'm reporting on these stories, I think, I know where that is. That's a street I drive down often, or that's near where my son goes to school. Stories that matter to you matter to me. These are the stories you'll see on Local 4 News.
Welcome back. As easy and convenient as those package arrivals from Amazon, or Walmart, and Target can be, there are many who not only enjoy hitting the holiday streets to shop, but they also want to support the local and independent store owners in their neighborhoods and communities. They, too, are finding themselves on the rough and tumble end of the supply chain problems brought about by the pandemic. Jay Davis is a small business reporter for Crain's Detroit Business who is writing extensively about this issue right now and joins me to talk about it. Jay, good to have you on. The calculus would seem obvious here. Small businesses have a smaller margin of error, so any supply or inventory hiccups can mean big trouble, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and just doing some interviews for the package that we produced earlier this week, you know, talking with some of the small business owners, they let me know, and I actually learned a lot about supply chain over the last couple of weeks, as you can imagine. But, you know, bigger companies have more substantial relationships with these suppliers where they will make sure to get Walmart a shipment, you know, on time before they get, you know, mom and pop toy shop their shipment. So that's a big issue too. You know, these smaller businesses are getting so few shipments each year that, you know, the suppliers kind of put their orders on the back burner, it seems.
Yeah, they're not the priority. And some of these that you're writing about, it's not like they were trying to order something in September. Some of these people have placed their orders for things back in January. You would think, so almost a year in advance of the holiday season, and they're still up a creek not getting the orders.
Yeah, you know, that was an interesting part of it too. You know, they're in contact, you know, with the logistics people and the suppliers, but all they can do at this point, you know, is just say, you know, it's somewhere, it's coming, we just don't know when. And that's when, you know, the small businesses get in trouble, particularly this time of year. You know, you order something in January and you don't get it until November. That's probably a decent part of your inventory. And, you know, at this time of year, a lot of people are depending on, you know, customers to be in their shops daily over the next, you know, month or so for, you know, a majority of their annual revenues.
In fact, Jay, that's one of the really interesting things that's happening right now. For all of the fear right now, we know what's happening with prices and inflation. There are still the early returns that we're seeing so far. The early information on this shopping season is extremely robust. And so, of course, and a lot of the small business owners that you talk to seem to be pretty optimistic about the season that they could have if they can answer the demand.
Yeah, the issue isn't, you know, they're not worried about hidden projections or, you know, hidden sales projections or anything like that. It's just, can we get this stuff in time to where we can get it out. One business I talked to has advent calendars for sale, and those have to go out, by the end of this week, before December 1st, obviously, they're December 1st to December 24th. And, if you don't get those out, you can't really mark those down. I mean, yeah, there's 25 pieces of chocolate in there, but, you're not marking that on the shelf to somebody. You have to have that, by a specific time in order to get it out to people.
We'll assume the sales of Advent calendars drop precipitously after Christmas. There's no doubt about it. Staffing issues have also been a big problem. We know that a lot of folks have not been able to find all the help they need. You didn't seem to find that as being as big a problem. They've adjusted to what they have, right?
Yeah, those adjustments have been, made over the last year and a half. A lot of small businesses are offering more wages. More competitive wages. They're adjusting, their benefits packages and things like that. But as far as staffing levels, they've been, like I said, they've been making those changes for a year and a half and adjusting hours, adjusting how they do things with curbside pickup and, online ordering. So staffing at this point is what it's going to be, for the foreseeable future.
The other thing, Jay, so they all know that they are under huge pressure right now from the big boxes and from people who just want to have their stuff mailed at home. How much of this is a survival matter for these store owners, given how much of their business they do during the holidays?
Well, you think about a toy store, in a downtown. This time of year is where they get the majority of their revenue. People coming in to buy, Christmas presents for their kids, their grandkids. So, yeah, if you can't find that at your local toy store, you're obviously going to go to Meijer or Walmart or Amazon, and that presents obviously a huge problem.
Existential. Jay, thanks so much for the time. Really good to have you on this morning, and happy holidays. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
You bet.